That first vote that was deadlocked, well, that hadn't happened since 1993, and the Speaker himself had to break that deadlock with a vote. And then the other bill that's going through, the one that we're all watching here, it's now actually passed its second vote, Yvette Cooper's bill, which would effectively rule out in law leaving the European Union without a deal, so the end of the no-deal possibility or crashing out of the EU. Now, it's what they're doing basically is trying to do all of the steps of Parliament, so 3 readings in the House of Commons and the committee stage just in one afternoon in the House of Commons. That normally takes weeks, months, sometimes even years to get done. So far it's been passed just by 1 vote on the first vote, then by 5 votes on the second. We'll get a third one later on tonight, but it also has to go to the House of Lords and be approved there in order for it to become law. But that will further hem in the options for the Prime Minister. So quite an extraordinary day here in the House of Commons.
It really is a race against time, isn't it, Vinny? Because Theresa May's also been meeting with the opposition leader, Jeremy Corbyn. How did those talks go?
That's right. Earlier on this afternoon, the Labour leader and the Prime Minister sat down for those talks. There are 2 slightly differing accounts of what's been coming out. Now, Jeremy Corbyn said he was surprised that the Prime Minister hadn't shifted her position so much. And he said, I put forward the view from the Labour Party that to achieve a customs union with the EU, access to the single market and a dynamic regulatory alignment, that is a guarantee of European regulations as a minimum on the environment and consumers' rights. I've also raised the option of a public vote to prevent crashing out or leaving with a bad deal. So Jeremy Corbyn going in strong there as his MPs had encouraged him. Particularly interesting that he did stick to wanting to have that second public vote. It sounds though like the Prime Minister was quite wedded to her red line still, and the Prime Minister's team have said that it was constructive and that both sides were showing flexibility. Now they have both assembled small negotiation teams which will meet later on tonight for further talks, and here is what Jeremy Corbyn had to say about how things have gone so far.
It goes beyond the 22nd of May, then clearly it does involve European elections, which the government absolutely does not want to be involved in. They made that very, very clear. The Prime Minister has made that clear in the House as well as in meetings with me, and that is why she is very keen to get a vote through the House next week in order to get an agreement with the EU, which will mean that Britain does not have to take part in the EU elections.
Now, I expect both of the leaders will have to go into a bit of a heavily choreographed dance over the next couple of days to look like they are both battling it out with each other, thrashing out a deal so that their supporters will get behind them. And then, of course, that EU Council meeting next week is the real deadline on the 10th when they have to have something sorted.